Yo, what's going on? My name is Linator400, and welcome to the first episode of Let's Build the Ultimate Theme Park in Theme Park Tycoon 2. First off, I'd like to start out by giving a few shout-outs to some cool people in the Wiki Discord. Anzu, who's a really good, I guess, owner and moderator. I guess she does more than most of the Wiki moderators, but cool. And Fiddlecake, who's also a really cool guy. He has a really cool subreddit who I'm also going to link because he needs to get to 100 members. He's at 86 now, so he only needs 14. It's not a lot, so I think it's doable by a month's time, I think it is, or maybe it's by the end of the month. Not entirely sure, but I think he can do it. So what you see here is I'm just building a basic entrance out of primitives, and then I'll cover it in some stone brick walls, I guess, with some one-way doorways. Hopefully some people who watch this can find this as something to do that's not worry about what's happening in the world right now. I mean, obviously pay attention to it because we all live here. I mean, it's something we have to pay attention to. But at the same time, it's just something else to do besides worry. So, and I hope everyone's doing well. You know, stay safe, wash your hands, stay safe. And so there's just the basic. I'm gonna put some towers on it, you'll see in a second. I think what I did first was I added some doors, things like that. And just to also say something, some people who I was in game with, they were chatting, like they were putting something, they were typing in chat. He said it's a really cool park because this was earlier today as well. This was filmed yesterday, but this was earlier today as well. And he said, you know, I was building something else, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but he said it was really, you know, it was really cool. But he said your park entrance is a tutorial, and I was like, which part? And he goes, the parking lot. And I was like, it's not. It's just a parking lot. There's like parking lots can only get so detailed. I feel that, and like it's a parking lot. They can't be that unique. It just looks like every other parking lot. I promise you, it's not. I was doing this on mobile at the same time. Like, how am I gonna watch a tutorial? And frankly, I have no patience, so I'm not gonna memorize an entire tutorial. I haven't even seen the tutorial. And this isn't it. My park should not be used as a tutorial. I feel like, just please do something original. Like, use it as a guide, I guess. Like, if I say something like maybe you're gonna want to try this, like as a tip, take it. But don't copy whole stuff. Make your own, please. Make your own, because I would. And if you do and you want me to check it out, maybe I'll do park spotlights or ride spotlights in the near future, depending on how this goes. You know, I'd love to do that. But at the same time, I can't let something like that just take over an entire episode as me I'm not gonna let that do that. It's me ranting about people copying. I hate copiers. Like, now you know how I feel about copiers, so just don't do it. It's one thing for me to help you. It's another thing for me to give you a tip, and it's a completely different thing for me to do a tutorial, which I feel like is very unlikely for me to ever do. Here, I'm just finishing up some of the roof pieces. And these are really, I feel like a lot of people, when you see their park entrances, they use, like, you want some stuff to look kind of grand, I guess. Like, some things can look grand, and that's okay. Like, those roof pieces are like the tallest roof piece available. And I feel like that's fine because it makes it's just more, I don't know, it's there, and it's saying it's there. It's towering, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. Like, use pieces like that, make grand stuff. If it doesn't fit, then maybe make it smaller, but use big pieces, it really adds towards the immersion factor. Like, look how like grand. That's a pretty big building, to be honest. Like, that is a large size building. So like, if you were walking up to that in a real theme park, I mean, it would be something else because it's so big. It's kind of a basic entrance, I guess. But I wasn't, like, I'm just looking for kind of simplistic, realistic. There's that parking lot. But realistically detailed at the same time. So, like, just overly detailed, but at the same time simple, because it's simple. And you see there with the doors, because it's a primitive, it's not the same, it's not in the same, like, area. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change that. But so that they're flush with the wall. I'll probably do that in a later episode. I just realized that, actually. Here what I'm doing, also going around, because I'm going to put bushes in that green space. And then there's a carousel that's going to go there. Kind of make it the centerpiece when you first walk in. And there you have all the bushes placed. But I'm actually going to go back and I just deleted somewhere in the corners because it seemed a little bit too much. Not like necessarily overwhelming, just a little bit too much. I'm going to go delete those ones behind it because that's where I'm going to put the entrance. And the cool thing about putting the entrance behind where people come to see it is that when you walk in, it's there and there's nothing blocking it. Like, there's nothing truly... Like, I'm going to put scenery pieces that aren't necessarily blocking it, but are there to break up the continuity of it and add a layer or two of something different. That's what I did with the bushes as well. I rotated them. That's something easy you can do, because scenery adds a lot of layers, but at the same time, you can really go the wrong direction with scenery, and especially nature scenery, and go overboard and make them too uniform, and they're all facing the same way in a weird pattern, and it just looks wrong, and it doesn't. And you know, I'm not judging anybody who does that. I'm just saying that's the way I see it. And here I'm actually changing the colors on the carousel because I wish he added more color, like more things that you can select. So like there's different parts, because I don't know why the stripes and the floor of the carousel are on the same part. Like, what is that? Although I like that you can change the horse. I wish you could change individual horse colors, because real carousels, if you've ever been them, they're very, like, especially older ones, they're very they're designed by artists, like, you know, artisans who make them, and each horse is different. Some of them are not even horses. There was one I saw, I remember when I was little, it was a zebra. Everything in there is different because it's handmade. You know. And you're back at the carousel. Here I'm actually going to do, and I think it's this clip, I go and I change the color of these bushes, because there's only so many ways you can rotate certain scenery. Like sure, they go to diagonal rotation, but not, there's only so many ways you can rotate it. So a good way to break up that, like, it looks uniform, but at the same time it looks natural. Like, it's not like topiary uniform, like it's overly uniform, but it's like, it's natural, but someone's keeping it in check at the same time. And I feel like that's something good you can do as well. It just breaks up a lot of, it adds a lot of layers, and it breaks up the repetitiveness by adding scenery, but rotating it as well. And then you can, since that has so many options for color, you can, on the bushes, you can just change them, and one change makes it different from the, like changing one spot on that bush, like one tuft, I guess is what they are, makes it different from the one that's next to it, even if it's facing the same direction. Like, it makes it so different. And if you really wanted to get detailed, you could put like 2 bushes in one that are facing a bunch of different directions. Here I'm also squaring up that area. And there's on the side of the carousel, the fence that surrounds it, like the topiary grass fence or whatever, the hedge. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna change that in a later episode to what's the word? The hedge, like, arches. because I feel like that's what it needs, is something a little bit more elaborate looking. And I'm gonna be honest, here what I'm doing is actually I'm adding orbs because so I had lanterns. They're not there yet. It's a different clip. It's actually a later clip. But when I wanted, I'm making them a nice yellow color, like a classic color, and I turned the brightness and spread down on them so that it would only shine up onto the carousel. But I wanted lanterns around it that are the same color as that. But I wanted the lantern light to be contained, so I didn't want to have to turn it up and have it leak over into a different section that doesn't need it. So instead of doing that, I just placed orbs inside the bushes to keep that light contained but in the right areas. Which might be a little unrealistic, but I feel like is a nice detail to add, so that you get like, no one would know that there's orbs in there, but at the same time it's just like you notice it subconsciously. You're like, well, that's good lighting, and it's not over here. It makes it different from that area. And, I got a lot planned, and I haven't. I'm also squaring this up some more. I'm just adding one more piece back because these are going to branch off of that. That's actually not squared up yet. And here you can see what we've done so far. Nice little carousel. So those hedges I'm going to turn back into hedge arches. I think it's going to look better. Here I'm just placing. Here's my thing with trash cans. People have said to me, "Do you have like a trash can fetish or something?" And it's not that. Those are like, and in seats. If you've looked at any of my other parks, and you'll see it in the next episode I've already recorded where I put a path. I'm not gonna ruin the whole episode, but like I made an I don't know, like an arm coming off of that center piece to move into the next area, and I put lanterns in a row with what's the word, with seats and trash cans, like almost every I think it was every 2 other blocks, like squares, because I wanted, that's the 2 biggest gripes with these guys. And like, trash is so hard to clean up. It takes so long. You might as well just overkill with the trash cans, but do it in a nice uniformed way. Like, that's the one thing I feel like you can do uniform, is trash cans and seats. And I know those lanterns don't exactly line up, but I just needed the light to spread. I mean, I'll go back and fix it. I don't really see anything wrong with it. I think that's one of the other things, is that not everything is exact, but it still looks right. Here I'm just squaring up the thing, I guess. I don't know. It's not exactly dead center, but that's fine because it's a-okay. Here I'm also putting more lanterns. So you'll see I put them in a square. That one's every other block. And then I'll put trash cans in squares, because the trash is so hard. If you look in the parking lot too, where they can't walk in the middle of the parking lot, the guests, they can only walk around it. And that was the other thing, is like, I didn't want trash there. Here I'm just adding some trees to add another layer. Nature's a good way to add layers to your park and to add some realism. Another thing to do, by the way, is also change the tree color, because it makes difference. Again, there's only so many ways you can rotate the trees, but it makes them different from each other. So you can tell they're the same kind of tree, but at the same time, it's not. There's something different about each, but it's still the same kind of tree. It's pretty obvious that they are. And there we got some more trees. You also see, because I didn't want to have, because it's a little bit repetitive, I didn't want to add too clips of me putting trees on the other side as well, because there's trees going on the other side. And I did change a little bit. I added some terrain and to push them up. I think, yeah, there you see the other trees. They're at different heights, which gives it some more depth, I guess, there's a person. But here I'm gonna place another tree on top of that terrain. You know, it doesn't have to be like I know people do the slants down to make, I don't know, more realistic looking terrain, but I was just like, they can just be blocks. I mean, that's fine. I think I'm gonna get rid of this clock I placed as well. That I didn't want. You know, I wanted a clock, but I feel like this clock was a little bit weird and it didn't really fit. Here I'm also adding some more lanterns. That's another good thing you can do is add lanterns, add light, more detail. Yeah, that clock's gonna go, it doesn't really fit there, and you can see the trees. Thank you for watching. I hope you all really enjoyed this. I know it was kind of long. I think some of them are gonna be a little bit longer than this as well. Yeah, but I had a couple shout outs. Fiddle, thank you. Duke Sue. Coaster Nerds as well, because I really like his channel. Anzu for being a great mod and owner, frankly. And make sure you go to the subreddit. Make sure you get on that. Make sure you get on the Discord server. I'd love to see new people in the Discord server, in the wiki. I guess that's really it. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna leave you with the music.